we are going to play this game called as Chatterfall. I don't know if you have heard of this or not. I learned this in one of the Agile coaches meeting that I'm part of it. It's pretty, good. So this is what, as a participant, you need to do, okay, or you will be doing. So I will ask a question, okay, and then everybody is going to type their answers, but they are not going to hit the enter or submit, okay. You will hit it all together when I will say go, then you will submit it all together, okay. So let's say the question is, what is the best thing that happened to you this week? Okay, type your answers, don't submit, okay. What is the best thing that happened to you this week? So I will tell you when to press enter, and we'll see all the things coming on the chat box. We call it Chatterfall. Okay, so go ahead, press your return.
I'm not sure why, but I cannot type in the chat for this meeting.
Received a thank you. I see that. I see here responses. Time with my family. See my child. Yeah, I see chat. You are not able to type. Assisted our legal department. Wow, that's important. That was knowing I'm off work next week. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see. Okay. You should be able to see my screen now. Does everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Somebody can, okay. Okay, I heard yes. Okay. All right. So we are talking about transitioning an organization from Waterfall to Agile. So this is the agenda outline. We'll have some introductions, expectations, and we just started. We will talk about why Agile first. So in my all coaching, I say, okay, you have to be able to answer the why question. Why question for everything related to what you're doing for the transformation. And as I was talking to you, that over last 10, 15 years of my experience working with different teams, helping them transform to Agile, coaching them, I came up with this 5-step approach. And I'm going to share that approach and have a conversation about it. If you were involved in any kind of transformation, Agile implementation as a part of a team or leading it or whatever role. And then we'll have a quiz like we do always. We'll conclude and then we'll have Q&A. So let's start with what are your expectations from this webinar? And we are going to use this tool like we use always, Menti. So you go to menti.com and you should see the question in front of you and you can answer that. So I will give you 10, 15 seconds to get there and answer the question. So what I want to see something come here in next 5 to 10 seconds. You can do it from your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad. Okay, ideas to help transform. Very good, very good, very good. What else? Best practices. Excellent, excellent. Okay, what else? And you don't have to type long, even if it is like a 1 or 2 words. I think that should be fine. Okay, you want to hear my expertise, and you will hear my expertise. Definitely, yes. Okay, what else? Okay, new ideas. Very good. New ideas. Okay. What else? Anybody else? Yeah, okay, something new came. Learning from others. Okay, what else? Oh, wow, now it started coming. PDU, yeah, that's always a good thing. That's always an expectation. Guidelines for transition, knowledge. Okay, now things are coming up. I just want to see if anything pops up out of this whole all ideas. Normally, if multiple people have the same idea, it may pop up, but let's see. Okay, so I guess we'll move forward. Okay, there's some new things started coming now. Okay, all right, we will move on to the next one. Let's go to the slide deck here again. So a little bit about myself. Many of you joined my webinars. So, I started my own company, RefineM, 11, now it is 11 years, okay. 11 years ago, we do agile coaching, project management training, consulting, and I have personally worked with large organizations like IBM, Charter, Wells Fargo, and other organizations, mid-size, small size. Very, very exciting and learning experience with all of these. Okay, and we are a PMI authorized training provider. Now we are certified to teach PMP and other classes. We have certified instructors too. I live in Cary. I was born in Meerut in India, live in Cary. All right. The upcoming webinars that you can look for is always, is something that you want to look for. So June, we are talking about hybrid practices. I know many organizations. I don't think there's large number of organizations that do pure agile. There is some kind of hybrid, and we'll talk about hybrid practices. In the month of May, I will be delivering the same webinar at projectmanagement.com to take it to the larger audience there. Usually you get about 2,000 people joining that webinar. So if you want to join again, you are more than welcome. If you think somebody from your team missed, or if you like this, then join me in May at projectmanagement.com, and then June 15 on effective hybrid practices. All right, so let's go to Menti again and answer this question. Does your organization currently use Agile? So let's see how this group comes up. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, I'm glad to see 0 in not at all. That's really encouraging. Yeah, that's really encouraging to see 0. So most of you who voted here, you use Agile, and as I was expecting that, there is somebody, okay, they don't use Agile. Maybe that's not a good fit for them, and which is fine, which is absolutely fine. Agile may not be for everybody. So most of you are saying in some way, that's very realistic. That's what I have seen it, and so it basically kind of seconds that thought. Okay, all right, let's go back. So why Agile? So I was talking about, whenever we try to do something, whenever we think, okay, we want to do this, why? What is that you are looking for? What problem Agile is going to solve for you? Okay, so I think it's very important to understand that and have a very clear idea about why you want to transform to Agile. What Agile is, in my view, it's ability to respond to change. So how fast you can change, or how you can respond to change. And that's what is needed in today's fast changing world. What Agile can do, it can improve a lot of things. Okay, what it can reduce a lot of things. And there's some statistics or data that you see about the usage on this pie chart. And I want to stop here and see, hear from any one of you, or maybe more of you. What is your experience? What do you think you have seen Agile has improved for your organization? Anybody want to talk about that? Anyone? Or something it has reduced? Have you seen anything, or just your experience with Agile? Philip, you have microphones open or not? Yeah, Greg is raising hand. Yeah, Greg, go ahead.
Well, for one thing, it helps us get a lot more and a lot quicker feedback from our clients or customers. And it's also helping them to have a lot better buy-in and be in the loop on things, since, it's a continual update in each sprint or iteration that we're all involved in discussions with it.
Very good. Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits, the customer experience. That's what Greg was talking about. Get feedback and buy-in from customers like it, so they get a very good experience working with, and it improves product quality because the end product is fully aligned to what the customer is looking for. So that's excellent. Anybody else? Okay, so let's move on. And this is another data point that I want to share with you. It's not just theoretical. It's not just theoretical. It is why senior leadership or big companies are investing millions of dollars in helping their teams or supporting their team to transform to Agile. And this is because Agile companies are more profitable and there is a higher return on equity. So this is not what I'm saying, but you have the reference below. Maybe that's more, it is a MIT white paper. So some source that is, that you can believe on. All right, okay, let's move on. So why you want to implement Agile? I think that's very important first to understand why. And also sometimes you have a problem that you're trying to solve, right? So you have a problem that your customers are not happy, or it takes a lot of time to develop products, or whatever, whatever is the problem that you identify. Sometimes you have to do like your strategic planning and understand what is going on. All right, let's move on. So yeah, some voice is coming. They can put their microphone off, or Philip, if you can put everybody's microphone off. Sorry, if you can. Yeah, I hear this noise coming from somewhere. All right. So this is my, you can say, approach or model to transform or transition an organization to Agile. So there are 5 steps here, and I will go through each step in the succeeding slides. The important part here is that you start. So many organizations start from number 4. Just go to number 4, right? Let us implement sprint. Sprints. Let's start sprinting. So the first 3 steps, those are most crucial steps. They are either not done or done in a loosey-goosey manner. Okay, and that kind of transition doesn't go too far, and you may not see any results. Okay, so the very first step is to identify change leaders, people who are going to lead the change, and then You need to perform some kind of a discovery, identify your goals, and then invest in Agile education. Sometimes you may start a little bit investing in Agile education upfront, and that can change. You can have some Agile education to start with because people in the organization may not know anything about Agile. In that situation, you start some education, but then you have to come back to step 3 to have a detailed Agile education. Sometime to perform discovery, you may need that. Okay, and then you set up your system or your process, and then make a transition. People who are leading the transformation, they go out, and the teams take over, and they are on the path of continuous improvement. So that's a high level one picture. We call it infographic that explains the 5 steps. Now let's go through each step in little bit more detail where I would like to have conversation. Okay, so the first is to identify change leaders. And in my view, the successful transformations are those that have an internal change leader. That's very, very important, internal change leader. And it will be great if that leader has a agile mindset, some knowledge about agile. That will be excellent. That is really, really going to make a big difference if that leader and is committed to the change. But even if so, I have put the knowledge as the third bullet, not the first one, right? So the first 2 are kind of extremely important. Willing to lead the change, you want to do that, has a desire to do that, and also committed to do that. So those two aspects are extremely important, and I will put them under what I call required. And then over and above that, if he or she has knowledge about agile, has an agile mindset, that's wonderful. If he doesn't have, then he need to go and find somebody who has that knowledge and experience. And that's where the agile coach or consultant comes into picture. I have put optional, right? So if the leader himself or herself have enough agile background, agile mindset, and has time to lead the change, then I don't know how much time you can lead the change, even if you don't have a lot of time, because you can lead at the strategic level, not at the operational level. So leading at the strategic level is very important. Somebody else can do at the operational level. So if the leader has limited time or limited knowledge, they can bring in an agile coach to help them. So agile coach normally will have experience with the change. They might have done it multiple times. They have a lot of knowledge. So when you select a coach, look for all this. Nowadays, I have seen some people with just doing a Scrum or Agile course and come back and start saying that they are Agile coaches, and they may not be even good Scrum masters or good Kanban leads. So when if you are involved in that hiring process, then look for somebody who has really done it multiple times. Validate that. Ask what kind of results you got. That's very important. Ask for results, right? Knowledge. Do they have coaching skills? Coaching skills are different than training skills. So they're very different. Okay. So look for those kind of aspects. So the internal change leader and the agile coach now become a team that will lead this change or this transformation. And then you can have other people supporting them. They can have a transformation team, but these are the two people that will be leading, and sometimes that both roles are played by one single person, and that's the actually preferred. That is actually preferred kind of thing. Okay. Dinesh, if has any comments or any questions, I will pause here for a little. Any questions or any comments? You can type. I am sure I will be able to see, or if Philip sees those chat, then he can tell me. I'm not seeing chat box here on my screen. But any questions or comments about this very important first step?
Okay, I see one from Elliot. So a comment, personally, I find that visibility is more a function of up-level agenda than agile process.
Yeah, say it again, Philip. I did not get it. You went so fast.
Oh, visibility is more a function of up-level agenda than agile process.
Yeah, so I think that is right. The agile process at this level may not be so much relevant. We will come to that. But I think at this level, there are two important things. There are two very important things. One is having an agile mindset. That is important. Agile mindset, and all of those who are familiar with agile, they know what I'm talking about. And agile mindset is willing to change, willing to respond to the change. Yeah. And second is a very good understanding of the organization culture. That plays a very significant role in transformation. So having a good understanding about those two will be very helpful. Process will come to the next slides, and we'll talk about the process too. Any other question or comments? Okay, all right. Let's move on. And Philip, if somebody has a question, you can open their microphone.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I see one there from Lisa. Change leaders need to be flexible.
Absolutely, no doubt. And flexibility is part of agile mindset, right? Flexibility is part of agile mindset. Responding to change. So flexibility is definitely part of agile mindset. As I was talking about, you're absolutely right, Lisa. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on. So second step is discovery. Now we have these agile leaders identified. Maybe they have identified the transformation team, maybe 2-3 other people, maybe more coaches, maybe a couple of other change leaders in the organization, whatever that team is made up of. So the next step is to do a discovery. So discovery means finding things. What is the vision for Agile for your team or organization? What do you want to do? Why you want to do? How you think Agile will benefit? Not how you will implement Agile, but how you think Agile is going to help you. How you think Agile is going to solve the problem that you have in front of you. Even if you don't have problem, what you're trying to improve. You may already be doing all right, but you want to improve. So what do you want to improve? Okay, agile mindset is about continuous improvement. So what goals you want to set? Why you're doing it, and what goals you want to set, and a high-level roadmap. And I have a slide to talk about the roadmap. So how the roadmap looks like. You will do this, and we'll talk when we get to the roadmap. So this is one part that we do in discovery. Okay, there are two parts that we do in discovery, and the second part that we do is discovery is co-create a fit for purpose agile operating model. Co-creation is important. So it's not like, okay, let's start doing Scrum, or let's start doing Kanban, or let's start doing SAFe. That's not a right approach. The right approach is to figure out, based on the discovery, based on the first step of discovery, what is going to work in your environment. And then co-creating means everybody together So discovery is led by agile leader or agile coach, but then the other people, maybe there is senior leadership most likely participating in that, or the entire transformation team together. Okay, so what kind of agile operating model or agile process will work in our situation? What kind of work we do? I have seen a lot of time there are organizations that do service kind of work or support kind of work, and they start doing Scrum. That doesn't work. It is difficult to create stories and size stories for an organization doing service work. They are doing tasks, right? So it is difficult, and they struggle with that. Okay, how do we estimate? And then we'll say, okay, this type of thing takes 2 days or 3 days, and equate it to the story points and do that. They can start doing it, but it's not effective. There may be other ways of implementing agile which may be more effective for those situations. The organization may not be an IT organization. It may be a non-IT organization, not have anything to do with IT. What do you do in that case? How you implement agile in that environment, or what is going to be the best fit? What kind of tools you will need? What are your metrics to figure out the progress or demonstrate the progress? So that is very important. And usually, irrespective of the size of the team, or if you are a project-based organization, you are all project managers, or most of you are project managers. If you have a project, irrespective of the size of the project could be 10, 20, 30 people working, 50, 100 people working for 6 months, year, 2 year. It doesn't matter. The size doesn't matter here. Okay. Because size will matter when we come for implementing this operating model. But for creating the operating model, doing the discovery, usually it takes 1 to 2 days. No more. I have done hundreds of discoveries. No more than 2 days, 1.5, 2 days. Sometimes if it is a very small team and very focused, you know exactly what you need, can be done in a day also. So 2 days at the most, best done in person. Of course, during COVID, we found out and we figured out ways to do it, virtually. But I still remember doing these kind of discovery workshops with the leadership team, with the managers, with the teams, in person, and those really work great. Not that you cannot do it virtually. You can definitely do it virtually, and we have done it. So the discovery part is in 2 parts, and it usually takes no more than 2 days. No more than 2 days. Just 2 days, right people in the room. You don't need the team here, okay? You need the decision makers here. You need the leadership here. You need the transformation team here. You need, senior leadership, the people who you want to have buy-in before you start implementing anything. Okay, so once again, I will stop here for a few seconds and see if anybody has any questions or comments. And Philip, if somebody wants to talk, you can open their microphone if they want to talk. Or if they send you something in chat, then you can narrate that.
Yes, I think all of you should be able to open up your microphones if you have any comments. Let me know if you're not able to. I think you should be able to open them up.
So any questions or comment on discovery? Very important aspect for a transformation. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. So discovery, any questions on discovery? Questions, comments? Do you agree with this? Do you not agree? Maybe we should have a poll here. Maybe next time when I do it, we'll create a poll. Any questions, comments here? Anyone? Do you think it is reasonable? All right, let's move on. Okay. And you can always submit your questions or comments for the later part. Okay, so roadmap. This is what I'm talking about, the creation of a roadmap. So you can create roadmaps in multiple ways. Okay, this is one of the way of creating roadmap. Okay, so based on the goals that you're going to set, you can say, oh, these are the things that are important for us and we want to do them now. Okay, and theme A, theme B, theme C means in, let's say if you are doing a, developing a marketing campaign, you are trying to launch a marketing campaign. I'll take an example from non-IT. So if you're doing a marketing campaign, so theme A will be developing, collaterals, for example. So what you want to do now in collateral, what you want to do next, and when you want to do, in the future. So what kind of collateral do you want to have? Flyers, brochures, cards, website, whatever, right? So maybe website is a different theme. What you want to have in that website? What kind of campaigns you want to set up? So you want to set up maybe 10 campaigns. And out of those campaigns, what are the 2 or 3 that you want to do right away? What you want to do next and later? And between now, next, and later, it could be a gap of 3 months. So now we are talking about this quarter, next quarter, and the next quarter. Or it could be 6 months. So first half, next half, and next half. So it just depends upon how far you want to go and what is going to be your time boxing there. Okay. So roadmap is a very simple thing. You don't have to worry about any kind of sizing, if you will, because we are not creating a plan. We are just prioritizing things and say, this is what we want to get done, first. Maybe it takes 2 months, maybe it takes 3 months. Some of them take 1 month, some of them take 3 months. That's okay. So we don't have to be precise in this case. This is giving a kind of more like a prioritization, an idea kind of thing. All right. So this is what. So at the end of discovery, you need to have a vision, need to have goals, need to have roadmap, need to have operating system. Okay. What kind of agile operating system you'll have, and the metrics that you want to capture as you go. So these are some of the deliverables from the discovery. So it's pretty extensive, and that is why it takes 2 days. But it's pretty extensive. All right. So then we come back, invest in agile education. So very important to investing in agile education before doing anything, before implementing it. So all that what you were doing, step 1 was identifying change leaders. Step 2 was change leader and the transformation team and other stakeholders, whosoever need to be there, maybe 10, 15, 20 people in the room, and working through the discovery part. Okay. So now in this, after the discovery is over, then before you start implementing your operating model, you need to have some kind of agile education. And the agile education is about the kind of values, like the 4 values below, the principles, practices, not necessarily Scrum or Kanban. You should talk about them because that's how you implement, or a combination of that. But mindset, methods, and tools. So methods also come there. And the other thing that happens is that the operating model that was developed in step 2, with each team, when you do this education, that gets refined. You get input on that and refine those, and it keeps refining. So the education that need to be provided is provided at 3 levels. Okay. And it is always better not to start with team. So these are 3 levels, okay, as I was talking about. Leaders or the senior leadership, management, middle managers, and the team. Those are the 3 levels, and it need to happen in this order, okay? It need to happen in this order because at each level, what you're doing is providing education, helping them with the, developing agile mindset, and looking at the operating model. Looking at the operating model, how agile will get implemented, the process part somebody was talking about, the process part. So you have vision, you have goal, you have roadmap, and you have operating system. And then you provide this education and go back and make refinements. And it's good to start with the top, because then you are setting that, you are helping them with the agile mindset, agile practices, agile principles. So they are getting to know about it and they are learning. So if you miss level 1 and or level 2 and start with level 3, guess what? There will always be questions. When team members come back and say, we cannot take more than this in this sprint, or we want to implement Kanban. I had this situation. I was coaching a team, and when I looked at the kind of work that they were doing, I said, the Scrum is not going to work for you. You are struggling, because they used to say every story is 3 story points, because they could not estimate it. And they were not wrong, because the kind of work that they're doing, it's extremely difficult to estimate. So it just depends upon the kind of work. So I suggested them, but their manager said, no, we are not going to implement Kanban. And he didn't know anything about Agile. So once that Agile education started, we started talking to him, we started, educating him. And then I think it took about 3 months time for him to come back and say, yeah, I think we should be Kanban team. And then we started implementing that. And that team actually started improving after that. And that the team that where Scrum metrics used to look so bad, Kanban metrics start looking good, because team was working really hard and they were doing things, they were delivering things. But the measurements that are used in Scrum are different than the measurements that are used in Kanban. And they were basically staying at maturity level 1 or 0. So it's very important to start education. So at level 1, you created roadmap and you did the discovery and all that. You can revisit that. And then the training or education here should focus on leadership. How an agile leader looks like? What is the persona of an agile leader? How agile leader is different than conventional leader? What kind of mindset they have to have? What kind of culture they should develop in organization? So that those parts are more important rather than knowing Scrum or knowing Kanban or knowing SAFe or knowing daily stand-ups and all those kind of things. So at this level, mindset and developing agile leadership, culture, I think those are the significant things at this level. Okay. And then when you come to the level 2, you refine those goals, refine those roadmap, refine the operating model, and then train them how they can be good middle managers. And one of the challenges that particularly for larger organization is where you have a very wide kind of middle management and too many levels there. So if you have that, they feel actually threatened. They feel that they are going to lose control. If the team becomes empowered, then what they have to do? They will have no work. Maybe they will get fired. No. So they need to be educated what is their role in the new setup, what they are going to do, how they are going to help the team, how they are going to help the organization. They are needed, but they have to work in a different way. I call it WOW's ways of working. So that's what should be the part of the training. Okay. So many times I have seen the training is done, the same training is done at all levels. The senior leaders may get bored, right? So what is relevant for them? And it is possible that the senior leader training is maybe just one day. Middle level is another one day, and maybe team members is 2 days or 3 days, because at the team member level, when you go to the team member level, the focus should be the fundamentals of Agile, principles, practices, the methods, all daily stand-ups, retrospectives, and blah, blah things, all those kind of things. And how the model that we talked about is going to achieve the goals. How you will implement that model to achieve those goals. And they should be able to see the connection. And if they do not see the connection, then we need to work with them. Maybe there's a change needed in the operating model and make that change, because these are the people who are in trenches, who actually do the work. So if they are not very clear about why this new model, right? How it is going to solve our problem, and their problem may be very different than the problem at level 2 and level 1. How this is going to solve our problem. So I think those things are important. Not just talking about daily stand-up planning and all those are fine. Maybe they can be covered as an overview, but then get down to the real part. Get down to how this is going to actually solve the problem. How you will see that you are making progress. Okay, so and there is a buy-in needed at each level for that purpose. All right, I will pause here for maybe 5-10 seconds. Let's see if there are any questions or comments.
Elliot has one. He says his mic's not working, but starting with level 3 on the Agile education is a recipe for chaos. Teams will revolt and managers won't know why.
Yep,
it's a good comment.
That is right. Yes, absolutely. So if their why is not answered, then there will be no buy-in. So why has to be answered. Why about everything? Unless the why is answered, this will not fly. So I think that's very important. You got it. Okay. So set up for success. Now we are saying, okay, we got the education, we got the buy-in, we have the operating model, we have everything. Let's start implementing it. So start implementing, create that process, create those touch points, methods. Are you going to Scrum, Kanban combination, whatever that is, or maybe totally new, taking some practices. You don't want to change the whole thing, but you want to mainly stay waterfall, like a hybrid I was talking about. Then how that hybrid model looks like. What are the things what will be that method? Okay, what tools you are going to use, and it is possible that different teams may have a different variation of that model, which is fine. They may use different tools, which is fine. Okay, not that okay, we are using Jira in all the entire organization. Well, Jira may make sense to some teams, but may not make sense to other teams, right? So this is what works. But if the top comes up with say, okay, this is our tool, we are going to implement this tool, so that probably will may not fly. The other thing is that at this stage, because you are not only thinking about implementing, you are also thinking about sustaining. Otherwise, the team will fall back to the old practices and old culture or old ways of working. Ways of working. So you need to identify some agile champions, the people who are very enthusiastic, people who want to help, people who are servant leaders, are really interested in sustaining. So for each team, you may have one or two agile champions identified, and that's part of this implementation. And then you start implementing the process, start collecting your metrics, start reporting them, see what progress is made. And then the last step is making the transition, okay, which may involve extensive coaching, because team has a lot of potential. To help team realize that potential, that is what coaching is about, okay? How do you help team realize? How do you help them see things, right? Help them understand why behind everything, okay? So that's those are the kind of important thing that need to happen during that coaching. And coaching can be from an external coach, or it could be from somebody internal, where whosoever is able to do the coaching. And then mentor support agile champions during this time. So earlier when implementing, you identified them. Now you're mentoring and supporting those champions that they will sustain this when the coaches or whosoever was leading this transformation, they are not going to be there forever. Okay, so it's important to see this as that they will move to other team or do other jobs. So the agile champions who are part of the team, they take over and they sustain. Okay, so that makes our 5 steps. Before we go to quiz, and we'll come back to questions, but is there anything quick comments or anything quick that I can answer? But I'll come back to answer more questions and open. Greg has something. Greg, yes.
Sorry, I see from Francois in the chat. Please can you show again the slide, the step 4? So step 4 slide.
Okay, we'll come step 4 slide. Yeah. Okay. And you will get this deck. If you registered, you are attending it, you will get this deck. Okay. So you will have this with you. Okay. All right. So let's go to the quiz. Okay, we are going to have a quiz, and 2 winners, top two people who come at the top level, they will have a prize of their choice, and these are the things that they can get. Okay, so let's go to Menti here again, and let's see if we can get to the quiz. Okay, so let's see how many people want to participate. I have 12 people here who wants to participate, but how many people are there in the webinar, Philip? I don't see that list.
We have 25 total.
Okay, so we are almost 50%. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead. So questions will come one after the other. You have to pick the right answers, and you have to do it fast, because faster you do, more points you get. Okay, so that's how this thing works. Okay, so we started with the first question. Yeah, we talked about roadmap. Oh, I think Sarah has given a lot of time, at least limit to 10 seconds. Everybody has already voted. Okay. Oh, so most of you are right. Let's move to the score now. Let's say who is leading. Somebody named Cake. Okay. They named themselves to Cake. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah, Sarah has given a lot of time, 20 seconds. So Sarah, next time, 10 seconds. So we have 10 responses already. 11. Okay. So most of you are right. Let's see who is leading. Yeah, seems like our cake is leading, still leading, and Tiger Baby is right after that. Okay, so let's say this is a third question coming up. Yeah, I think we discussed this in detail. In very detail, we discussed this. Yeah, that's right. Most of you are right. Let's see where the scores stand. Oh, yeah, okay. Still, the two top people are still staying at the top. Okay, maybe somebody can catch them. And okay, Cake and Tiger Baby, whosoever you are, don't pick the wrong answer. Because if you pick the wrong answer, you get 0. Okay, so don't pick the wrong answer. Okay, wow, 100%. That's great. But let's see the speed now. Everybody responded correctly. Oh, let's see if Tiger Baby goes up. Yeah, okay, yeah. So there's a jump here. Okay. All right, so this is the last question. Yeah, I think 12 of you have picked so far. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, all of these. Most of you are right. Okay, here is the final one. Let's see. Wow. Oh, Tiger Baby. Okay. Okay, so Cake and how do you say Jashim? Please email to me and let me know what you want out of these 5, and I will send it to your way. Okay. All right. So, oh wow, there's something here more. Okay. There's something more here in this this one. So, how would you recommend this webinar? And you should see a sliding scale, and you can pick that sliding scale and yeah, okay, all right. This is scale of 1 to 5. Okay, very good, very good. I have 8 people who have put in their numbers. Very good, very good. 9 of you. All right, so that's very good. It seems like you recommend, most of you recommend this to others. And then the next one here is, what are the topics you have in mind for future webinars? I would like to take that input and create webinars around the topics that you want to hear about. So what are the topics you have in mind? I know you are typing, so it takes little time to type. So I want to see a couple here. If you can put your topics here. Okay. Yeah, that's a very important role. Extremely important role. So we'll create a webinar around product owner. Okay. All right. And others can type. And this is okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. We'll We did a webinar on stakeholders maybe a few years ago, so maybe we can update it and do it. Okay, all right. So coming back here, in conclusion, this is the 5-step approach to implement Agile in your organization, and I can tell you it works. It has worked for more than 200 teams that I was involved with. It works. Okay. If you don't follow it, it may or may not, but this thing I can vouch it works. So let's have any questions you have, and we have actually we have a couple of courses coming. This one, dashboard in a day with Power BI. There are a lot of push for data analytics, AI these days, and Power BI is an excellent tool. And if you have a Microsoft tool in your organization, it comes free. So as a project manager, you can do a lot with Power BI. So we have it. This is a guaranteed to run class. It is definitely running. And so if you want to join this class, join this class. This is how you get your PDUs. And once again, you will get the slide deck. So you know how to get your own PDU or SEU. Questions? So let me stop sharing here and let's see if there are questions. And you can microphones are open. You can open your video. We have few minutes. So any questions on what we covered today or any other questions? Philip, are there any questions in the chat that I have not answered?
Let's see. Elliot had a suggestion for another webinar as to how exactly training upper management can specifically enhance their effectiveness. I'm assuming on the training upper management on Agile.
Is a comment?
Yes,
I
that
believe.
was a comment for a future webinar.
Yeah.
And
oh,
then,
for a future. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and then Ed, I responded to you on the who you email for the quiz.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder whether my microphone is working. Is it working okay now?
Yes, Elliot, I can hear you.
So cool. Yeah, I've worked a lot with teams, boots on the ground, right? And Agile methodology has definitely improved, our effectiveness. But often we've kind of lacked air cover, and we've kind of lacked, the support from up level, and so that's been a big gap in my experience in terms of how organizations adopt Agile. They feel like, okay, adopting Agile is basically implementing methods, boots on the ground, but up level doesn't need to do anything, right? And so specifically addressing their concerns would be highly useful. And I've got giant ears open for ways that that we can address them, right? That specifically address their concerns, which are different from boots on the ground concerns.
Absolutely. Yeah, Elliot, you are absolutely right. The 3 levels that I talked about, everybody's concerns, problems, goals, vision is different. So that is why it is so important to do the discovery right from the very top, and then do Agile education, and then refine what came from the top. So I think it's important, because when you implement Agile, if you have kind of alignment all through, that is very helpful. Very helpful. If you start with methods and practices at the team level, you may not get air cover. That's what you're talking about. You may not get support.
Yeah, it's mechanical and not philosophical, right?
Yes.
And I'm so glad you put on this particular session, because it gives me confidence that there's an increasing consciousness in the Agile community that is exactly the case. So I really appreciate this session. This has been psychologically and emotionally helpful for me, just to hear
Very
you
good.
talk about it from this point of view. So thank you, NK. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
and if you want to take this slide deck and do a presentation in your organization, you are more than welcome to do. I also do, get invited for doing the sessions, like 1 hour session like this in the organization, like brown bag lunches, lunch and learns, and all those kind of things. If you have in your organization, if anyone has that, feel free to, send me a kind of a request, and then we can work through that. This education or this session that I did, that is the main purpose, to Elliot, to basically support your thought and your ideas. Many of you have the similar ideas and similar thoughts. So take me on that, and feel free to let me know if you need any help in your organizations.
Thank you, NK.
All
That
right.
is still in my back pocket. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything, Philip, left in the chat box that we have not addressed?
I believe so. Did we share the PDU slide?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So again, step 4, I think I saw that. Okay, I think that is all. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for participating in today's webinar, and I will see you in our next webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.